Big, Bold, Beautiful Journey. It stars Colin Farrell and Margot Robbie. They're both older singles that attend a wedding and have a chance meeting at this wedding. Now, previous to going to this wedding, they both rent cars from a weird rental car agency, which makes me kind of suspicious of everything about this film. Phoebe Waller-Bridge and Kevin Kline play people with German accents renting Saturn cars with their own GPS.
You mean new Indiana Jones is running this?
No. Yes. Phoebe Waller-Bridge with a bad German accent rents Colin Farrell's character David this car, and things feel kind of off. Now he goes to this wedding with this rental car, meets Margot Robbie's character, Sarah, and he tells him, look, marry me. And then he's like, oh, I just met you. It's like, well, she seems like a crazy person who's an older single woman who's like, I'm a monster. She tells him basically all of her relationships end up badly. And she says, I don't want to hurt you. Well, maybe I'll hurt you, David says to Sarah. What ends up happening, they end up meeting on the way back from this wedding. They meet at a Burger King and her car breaks down. So what do? They decide to go on a journey together. And the GPS says, would you like to go on a big, bold, beautiful, beautiful journey? Literally the title of the movie said out loud, I want to go on a big, bold, beautiful journey, which
69.
This movie, things about this movie are off. It's like an alien directed a movie about humans and thought this is how humans act. I'll get to that later, because there's a fantasy element where they encounter doors in the middle of the woods. And when you enter the door, it takes you back in time to an important part of your life, a pivotal part of your life. David has an encounter with he goes through a door back to his old high school. He's in his old high school 15-year-old body about to do a stage play. And it's the night where a young woman broke his heart, his first love. Margot Robbie has an encounter with her mother who passed away, and she wasn't there. She should have been there for her mother. Each of them experiences moments in their life, pivotal moments of trauma, conversations. David meets his father. These are all encounters through doorways that take them to another time in their lives. This is not Back to the Future, right? But it has a fantasy element that David and Sarah don't really question, which seems weird. It feels like this movie was based on a play where you had two people acting. And there are even elements of that.
There's elements of a stage play in this movie.
Yeah, really elements of a stage play. I say that from the lighting. Sarah and David dress in these costumes that are similar with that kind of overhead, stage
it's like
lighting.
A black box.
It's like a black box where everything is fantasy, but the actors bring things to life. They make you believe I'm back in high school. I'll say halfway through this movie, I'm like, I'm sitting here shaking my head. This is just dumb. David acts in this high school musical and whatnot. I hate to say this. I got broken down as the movie goes further, and we see how the relationships, why they are the way they are now, with walls up to being in they're two people who could be together. They could be married, but they have walls up from past trauma. And by revisiting their old trauma, maybe they have a chance. The movie won me over. In the end, I was like, I really Look, it's not the best movie I've seen this year, but I really enjoyed it. You gotta get on the ride. You gotta like be willing to get on the ride. Alan, what did you think of A Big Bold Beautiful Journey?
Yeah, for someone who likes Dune, I'm surprised it took you so long to get on the ride in this movie.
Yeah.
I really like this movie. It's right up there with The Materialists. It's a romantic. It's not a romantic comedy. It's a romance movie. In the vein of, it's a serious Tom Hanks, Meg Ryan type movie. There are humorous elements, but this is a dramatic film with fantastical elements. The allegories of walking through a door, the idea of trying something, taking a risk in life. That's what the doors stand for. But what I like about this movie is I feel like for the last 8 years, most Hollywood movies have been lecturing us about the people we need to be. They have this idea that you need to be for this and for that, and you need to be this kind of person. This is a movie about two people who are us, and it takes us on this journey of falling in love. For David, his hang up is that he was told he was so special from his very birth, to the point where he's in this musical and he's the star of this musical. He's always been told that he was special, and in that he wanted to be married and find a girl. And every girl he found, he was more interested in the chase of finding that girl. And then once he catches her, she doesn't live up to his idea of what the perfect mate is. For Margot Robbie, she's been let down so much by life that it's kind of like she would rather hurt you than be hurt first.
Right.
She would rather hurt you than herself be hurt. And for both of them, as you say, that look, we can relate to these things. We've either experienced it. I think I've probably fallen more on the David end of things. But this movie is about just two people who are us, dealing with our shit, and then at the end, taking a risk on love. I mean, that's a romance. That's a romance right there. And and it evokes every feeling of that. And for me, I bought into the conceit of the doors and who they are. Right from the first door, because I was like you, I was like, okay, this looks really stupid. But then it wasn't even the musical, which was great. They did How to Succeed in Business without even trying, but it was the moment that he tells his first love that he loves her, and to see it, he has to relive it, and therefore we feel it. And then for her, it was a chance that it was missing her mother's death. She wasn't there by her side when she died because she was doing something, or she was doing something awful.
Yeah.
And she now has to face that. And quite frankly, this is, I think what I like is because I could relate to this movie so much. And the thing that I related to the most was, for me, I didn't get married until I was 30. And I got married because it was the reason 30 was the right point in my life, was because I finally figured my shit out. And I finally figured out that this is the time I'm ready to be married, as opposed to the 10 years before that, when every failed misstep, everything that I'd done was wrong. And realizing, okay, I now know why it would have been a bad thing for me to have gotten married before then. And that's what kind of this movie is. It's just a movie that just speaks to the human experience. And to me, that's the best kind of movies.
Well, I'll say this final thought on this, and I recommend it.
Yep.
I recommend it. It's an unapologetic romantic movie, not a comedy. Romance. The thing with Phoebe Waller-Bridge at the beginning was probably the worst part of the movie. That you could have cut. You could have cut that, and it would have been fine. This is about dealing with your baggage while you enter in a new relationship. It does it so well. It's so sincere. I'm not used to things being so sincere. And I recommend this movie. Actually, see with your significant other. Really, I do think see this with, it will start.
It's a good date movie too.
It is a good date movie. So I do recommend it for that reason. So Alan, I assume you recommend it as
Yes,
well.
absolutely.
Yeah.